guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bianca if you're new, and today is going to be my 2023 reading goals and my January TBR. I had a really tough reading year last year. I didn't read nearly as much as I wanted to or had planned, and towards the end of the year I was dealing a lot with mental health issues, and then I got sick in December. And so I wasn't able to do a lot of the things that I wanted to do. I had big plans for videos and I never got the chance to do them because I was sick. I didn't have the motivation to do anything. I didn't have the want to pick up a book because I didn't feel good, and I couldn't get in front of a camera because I was sick, and nobody wants to get in front of a camera when they feel bad. So that put paid to those ideas. But so as you can tell by the background, I got some more bookcases, and I got them for my birthday in December, and the plan was to film putting them together and putting the books on the shelf, but I did get sick and then I got COVID, and that put paid to that idea. But I am planning on filming a bookshelf tour because I do have more bookshelves out in the living room that I want to show you, and we have these here. So I do want to go through and film that. So that is one of my plans for hopefully February, if I'm able to, at the latest, if I'm able to. Last year saw me reading, I believe it was 75 or 76 books. When I get around to finishing my 2022 journal and filling out all that information, I will definitely have a flip through for my 2022 journal, and I will have a flip through for my 2023 setup. But as of right now, I haven't gotten around to finishing them. So as I said, 75, 76 books last year. So this year, my reading goal is going to be set at 80. Hopefully I can surpass that. Like I said, last year was, especially in the last few months, was a challenging reading year. So hopefully this one will be much better. But I'm setting it at 80, so it's attainable and it's not too high, but I do have plans to read a finished series this year, so hopefully I will be reading a lot more books. My second goal is to read more of my owned TBR. I think from what I remember, I have over 500, almost 600 books, and I think I've only read like 170 at this point. So I do want to pick up more of my own physical books. I have been unhauling a lot. I don't know if you guys are interested in an unhaul video, but I have been unhauling and selling a lot of my books, but I still have a lot because I keep buying them as I unhaul them. So I do want to read more of my physical TBR before or as I continue to buy more books, because I cannot follow through with the book buying ban for the life of me. I do have a book of the month subscription, so one of my goals is to read more of my book of the month books. I hope to read at least one a month. I've been a member of Book of the Month since I believe the end of 2020, the end of 2021. And so I have gotten a number of them, and I've only read a few. So I do want to end up finishing or reading more of my Book of the Month books because I'm interested in all of them. Otherwise I wouldn't have gotten them, but I haven't been reading a lot of them. So I have a bunch of unread Book of the Month books that I want to read. I also want to get better at reviewing the books I've read. So this year I want to work on writing a review on my Goodreads for each book that I've read. We'll see how that goes, because most of the time once I finish a book, I pick up another one. But hopefully I can get better at reviewing them, because I want to be able to review them better or summarize them better for you guys. And hopefully getting used to writing reviews on Goodreads or Amazon will help with that. And then my final reading goal for the year is to finish 10 series of the complete series that I've already started. I have a lot of series that I've started. I am also planning on filming a video for that where I go over all of the series I've started, whether I'm up to date, whether I've done like I usually do and have only read the first book in the series, which is normal for me. I have a lot of series that I want to finish, so my goal is to finish at least 10 complete series this year. I have a couple that don't have a lot of books, like I have started the Folk of the Air trilogy, I've started Serpent and Dove, I've started The Ravens, I've started the All Souls trilogy, which starts with A Discovery of Witches. So I want to be able to finish those. So those are some of my reading goals. I also want to read the majority, if not all, of my 23 and 2023 books. Last year, I think I read maybe 4 or 3 of the 22 in 2022. So that's another goal I want to finish. And then I have goals for my channel. I want to film more videos per month than I have been. I will usually only film 1 or 2 videos a month. I want to bump that up to 3 or 4. And I would like to hear more from you guys about what you want to see on my channel. I'm very good at putting out TBRs and sometimes vlogs. I'm not great at vlogs because I really don't do a lot during the weekend. I work all week, so filming after that is unrealistic because I'm exhausted. But I do want to hear more of what you want to see on my channel. I would love to hear more from you guys in the comments. So let's move into my January TBR. So in the month of January, I usually have pretty good record of reading the majority of my books at the beginning of the year, because that's when I set my goal to, I want to read a lot. Let's start off great. So I have 8 books on my TBR this month. The first one is the start of the books from my Book of the Month subscription that I want to read. This is The Sundown Motel by Simone St. James. I believe I've mentioned this in a past TBR, but I read the first book by Simone St. James last year, and I believe it was The Broken Girls, and I have since read 3 more, or 2 more of her books, and I've loved all of them. So this is, I believe, her most recent, no, this is 2020. So this was a 2020 Book of the Month book that I got last year, and I can't wait to pick it up because I love Simone St. James's books. So this one is, again, a dual timeline like The Broken Girls and the Book of Cold Cases. Both of them have chapters that kind of flash back and cover the events in different times. So this one takes place in upstate New York in 1982 and in 2017. It follows Carly Kirk, who is the niece of Viv Delaney, who worked at the Sundown Motel, and then one early morning they find her body on the side of the highway by the motel. And then in 2017, here comes Carly, who wants to learn more about the murder of her aunt. Her mother never talked about her. Her mother has since, I believe, passed away. So Carly decides to move to the town and investigate. And there's apparently some paranormal spooky things going on at this hotel. So I did start it. What I started, I loved. I didn't get very far. I think I only read the first chapter. But definitely look forward to picking this up again. Next, we have one that I have seen all over BookTube and BookTok and everywhere, and I wanted to pick it up. So this is Legends in Lattes by Travis Baldree. I've already started it because we're already like through the first week. I'm on chapter 11. I'm loving it. But this is meant to be a high fantasy, low stakes following an org, I believe she is. An orc named Viv, who has decided she's done with the adventures and the violence and she just wants to retire. So she retires and she opens a cafe. And if you've been on my channel, you know I love coffee. You might not know I love coffee, but I think I talk about it enough. But I love coffee and I've always wanted to open a cafe and bookstore. So this is kind of like my cup of tea. And you're adding fantasy to it and I love it. So she moves to this town, wants to open a cafe and introduce this town to coffee. And so I love this last part. It says, but the true rewards of the uncharted path are the travelers you meet along the way, and whether drawn together by ancient magic, a flaky pastry, or a freshly brewed cup, they may become partners, family, and something deeper than she could ever have imagined. I love that. So it just sounds great, and from what I've read, I really enjoyed it. I'm hoping to finish this today, but we'll see how that goes. So even from what I've read, if you love fantasy and it's just cozy, so I would recommend picking that up. The next one is one I don't know much about it. I was making an order on Pango Books and I happened to see this and I liked what the synopsis said. It is a romance. I believe there's some fantasy in it or something. But this is Rook by Sharon Cameron. And from what I remember, it is a kind of like a Robin Hood type deal with an arranged marriage and she ends up falling in love with him, I guess. I don't know much. So it says, who needs a wedding ring when you can pick up a sword? History has a way of repeating itself. In the sunken city that was once Paris, all who oppose the new revolution are being put to the blade, except for those who disappear from their prison cells, a red-tipped rook feather left in their place. The mysterious Red Rook is the savior of the innocent and a criminal in the eyes of the government. Meanwhile, across the sea in the Commonwealth, Sophia Bellamy's arranged marriage to the wealthy Renee Hazard is the last chance to save her family from ruin. But when the search for the Red Rook comes straight to her doorstep, Sophia discovers that her fiancé is not all he seems, which is only fair, because neither is she. As the Red Rook grows bolder and the stakes grow ever higher, Sophia and Renee find themselves locked in a tantalizing game of cat and mouse. Daring intrigue, delicious romance, and spine-tingling suspense fill the pages of this extraordinary tale from award-winning author Sharon Cameron. So, this sounds great. It is young adult, but I look forward because it sounds good. Young adult, but I wonder how old she is. The only thing I don't love, it's a stiff paperback. It's not floppy at all, but this sounds great. Cannot wait to pick it up. My next two are very much in the adult romance category, and have been all over Book Talk. So this is Hooked by Emily McIntyre. I started this on my Kindle and I was enjoying it so much, I knew I had to get the physical copy. So I've since stopped reading it. So I don't remember where I left off, so I'll probably start over so I can annotate. But this is part of the Never After series, including Scarred and Wretched. There's a fourth one coming out too. I can't remember the name of it, but this one follows James, who has one agenda to destroy his enemy Peter Michaels, and he's doing that with Peter's 20-year-old daughter Wendy. So this is very much a dark romance, very explicit. Definitely only pick this up if you're 18 and older, but I have read a couple chapters and I did love it, so I cannot wait to pick this up and finish it. And this cover is gorgeous. Look at that, it's so pretty. Next is another very adult, and this is gonna put one book down towards my finishing series, or at least parts of series that have been published. This is the second book in the Dark Olympus series, Electric Idol by Katie Robert. I believe this one follows Psyche and Eros, while the first one followed Persephone and Hades. I love the world that Katie Robert created for this series. So for this one, we have Psyche, who knew she'd have to face Aphrodite eventually, but never knew that her actual heart would be at stake until Aphrodite asks her son to be the one to strike the killing blow. But, you know, instead he marries her. Or it says he binds her to him body and soul. I don't know what that means, married. Oh, yeah. Psyche didn't expect to find herself married to the city's most dangerous killer, but something about Eros awakens a fire she never felt before. As lines blur and loyalties shift, Psyche realizes Eros might take her heart after all, and she's not sure she can survive the loss. So, if I remember correctly, I believe Psyche is Persephone's sister in this. So I do want to pick this up, and I do have the third book already. So I might pick that up after I finish this one. But that seems good too, because I really did enjoy Neon Gods. It took me a while to get into, but once I was in it, I was hooked. This is another book that I've seen a lot here on BookTube. And this is an author I've seen a lot of. I did read one of her books in December of last year. Well, last month. I read it last month. And it was really cute, little YA/middle grade. And I did enjoy it. So this is another step into more of her writing. And this is Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher. I also have another book that I just got, which is Sword Heart, which is very much adult. I actually might pick this up. But that's there because it's wonky and I want to straighten it out. But this is Nettle and Bone. I don't know a lot about this. Really don't remember a lot about it. I've read the synopsis, obviously. But it's, I believe, is about a girl who is trying to rescue her sister. And she's sent on a quest. And there's a bone dog. And she makes friends with a witch and something else. But it sounds great. And I knew I wanted to get the hardcover because I thought it was cute. So, and the end pages are gorgeous. Very much a fairy tale-esque book, I believe. One of the blurbs says, a deeply satisfying and darkly funny feminist fairy tale. This marvelous romp will delight Kingfisher's fans and fairy tale lovers alike. So, I love a good fairy tale. Love a good reimagined fairy tale. And dark. And I like books with little animal companions. And this one has a bone dog. So, gonna look forward to that. And I'm looking forward to reading more from T. Kingfisher because I do, like I said, have Sword Heart, and I have one other book from her, which I've already read, and that is A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking. And I think I gave this a 4-star. This is very different, I believe, to what she writes for adults, because this is like a YA/middle grade. Oh, no. Yeah, a YA/middle grade. So I do recommend this, though, because it's very, very fun. The next book I have on my TBR is one that I had on my most anticipated releases from last year, I believe it was. And this is Wench by Maxine Kaplan. This is a YA fantasy. And I believe it has to do with a young woman who grew up in a bar or a tavern. And her guardian has passed and she wants to take over the tavern. She's been serving there since she could see over the counter, and it's all she's done. So she wants to continue to work at this tavern. And I believe in order to do that, she has to complete a quest for the queen. And it's got some romance. It's got some, I believe, pirates and an enchanted feather that seems to be following her around. So this just seems fun. And it's blurbed by Shea Earnshaw, who says, a fierce feminist romp through the adventures of a tavern wench, like an old classic fairy tale with bands of thieves and magical feathers, but with more badass female characters. And I do like Shea Earnshaw, and so we'll see how that goes. But hopefully this works, because like I said, it was on my most anticipated releases from last year. So hopefully I enjoy it because I bought it. And then the final book on my TBR is the beginning of a series, and I don't need to start anymore, but I already did it. So this is one I've seen everywhere. This is Every Heart a Doorway by Seanan McGuire. This is the first book in the Wayward Children series, of which I bought all of them that are currently out because they're short, so I figured I could pop these out. But this one was really good. I enjoyed it. I will give you my thoughts on it later, but this is the first in the Wayward Children series, which is kind of like a portal fantasy series where I believe most of the books take place in our world, but some of them also take place in the portal worlds, and they have to do with a school that is headed by, I believe her name is Eleanor. Who knows what these kids are going through, where they found their homes and the places they belonged in their portal worlds, and then they're returned back to the real world and they don't know how to cope. So she has started a school for all these children, and these are their stories. So very much look forward to continuing, and hopefully I can finish the series, even if I read one a month. There are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then there's one coming out, 8. So I should be able to finish this series this year. Only 8 books so far. So definitely looking forward to finishing this one. And those are the books that I want to read for this month, and those are my goals for the year. Like I said, big plans, lots of ideas in my head, but it's just a case of, is my body, my mental health going to allow me to complete what I want to do? Gonna work hard on it, gonna strive for it. We'll see. I do want to put out more journal videos because those seem to be the videos you guys like. But let me know if there's anything else you'd like to see. I'm gonna have hopefully my 2022 flip through once I finish putting in the final results from the end of last year, and my 2023 once I finish setting that up. It's just a matter of me making up my mind on what I want my spreads to be and what I want them to look like. But like I said, these are all the books I want to read this month. I'm pretty sure I can get through them. I mean, it doesn't look like that much because all of them are relatively short. They're not ridiculously long. So hopefully I can get through all of these this month, and I might start doing wrap-ups again at the end of the month. Let me know if you want those. I didn't really do them last year, but let me know if you want more wrap-ups. Let me know what you guys are reading this month. What are your goals for this year? And I will see you guys in the comments down below. Have a great day or night wherever you are, and don't forget to pick up a good book. Bye.